Finn the human's voice has changed, but it wasn't actually because of puberty. Stay tuned.
So you basically kind of, went through your voice change in front of the whole world.
Oh, yeah.
It's obviously not my normal voice anymore. It's much higher pitched. But honestly, at the beginning, it was kind of just a very animated, energetic version of myself. And I think that's also why Finn has more of obviously like a natural tone to him.
Throughout the seasons on Adventure Time, the voice of Finn seems to have changed abruptly. Why? The answer to this YouTube video is not obvious, and no, it's not because of someone simply growing up. There's a twist. The voice actor of Finn the Human was Jeremy Shada. But what if I were to tell you that this isn't even the original voice actor, and something incredible happened behind the scenes? After intense research on this topic and the voice actors themselves, I have found the reason to the sudden change in his voice. And for the first time on this series, it's not just because the network was looking for new talent. Let's get into it.
Jake! Good morning! What you doing, buddy?
The voice actor of Finn the Human was originally Zach Shada, appearing in the pilot of the cartoon. For those of you who don't know, Adventure Time had a hard time being picked up by networks, so it appeared on shorts and cartoons, hoping for a home. It would show up on random cartoons. However, Nickelodeon rejected it. But Cartoon Network saw the potential and picked up the show.
What time is it? Adventure Time!
In that waiting period, we had the very first voice of Finn. Unfortunately for Zach Shada, by the time the show was picked up, his voice had gotten too deep for the lovable Finn. Check this out. If you're watching this video in 2023, Zach is now 30 years old. Finn the Human already needed a new voice by this time. But in a shocking turn of events, Zach actually paved the way for his little brother to take over his role as Finn. In fact, the network had no idea they were brothers until he booked the gig.
And so we looked up the old short that was on YouTube, and my voice sounded a ton like his when he did it. And so I even kind of copied it, or just tweaked it a little bit to kind of get into the character. And they were like, oh my gosh, this kid sounds just like him. And nobody except for Penn knew that I was even his brother until I booked the job.
Well done, dude. You secured that bag. This was a display of humanity and brotherly love. Guys, two brothers voiced the exact character on the same cartoon. What are the odds of that? Zach gave the role to his 12-year-old brother, Jeremy Shada. Now, this is a name that is very recognizable and familiar. After all, he's been in the spotlight as the original voice actor, but many people still don't realize that Zach was the original voice actor for Finn. Interesting. Although Jeremy and Zach are two different people, their voices are spot on.
Ice King is always stealing princesses. We're going in turbo time. You want your booties?
I'm sorry, I mean, it's just that you pick apples every day.
Crazy how this played out. But the story doesn't end here. I got another twist. Why would Cartoon Network put all their balls in one court? Why would they bet on Jeremy's voice? After all, he's just gonna grow up and we're gonna get that gumball syndrome I talked about in my previous video, where they have billions and millions of voice actors for Gumball. Go check that video out after you watch this. It's ridiculous. But Adventure Time is different. During an interview, Jeremy reveals that his vocal cords are very flexible, and voice acting for Finn does not kill his voice.
When I first started doing Finn, it was much closer to my normal voice.
Yeah.
Pre-voice change, puberty, hey! Hey, what's going on, Jake? Oh no, Princess Bubblegum!
Now, for the first time in my voice changing series, we see a change in Cartoon Network's practices. Remember when I told you that Cartoon Network likes to swap out kids whenever their voices go deep, like we saw in Gumball? However, with Finn the Human from Adventure Time, guess what? He's only had two voice actors. Two! Jeremy pretty much voiced Finn the Human the entire show. I think that deserves an applause. This basically means this dude has been carrying the show for all these years on his back. Even after he hit puberty, he was still on the show.
I'd catch a shooting star and travel to outer space and fight space monsters.
Jermaine, you and Jake both have sort of a grapefruit nature to you.
As I dug deeper, I found out even though Jeremy had hit puberty by this point, he could still give us the same voice that we were accustomed to. This is shocking. However, as I went through the seasons, I heard a slight variation in his voice each new episode. The sound waves indicate a slight variation from season 1 up until now. After analyzing the data, I wondered how it was possible that some kid was able to last for so many seasons. His vocal cords must be that of a musician or something, I pandered. Well, guess what? As it turns out, I was right. Finn the human can sing. What the fluff? I probably should have guessed this from those old auto-tune days, huh?
Baby,
Yeah?
I know what you crave.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Want to poop your pants all day long.
Oh man, I remember when I was a kid watching this on a laggy computer with terrible internet speed and just being in awe of how cool this cartoon was. Now that I'm also in my 20s, I found out that bro can actually sing? Huh? This is the reason for the longevity in his voice. See, aspiring voice actors need to realize that if you can sing on top of voice acting, you have a better resume and chance of being hired long term. SpongeBob can sing, Finn can sing, even Calobi can sing. If you want to become a voice actor one day, don't limit yourself. Hold on to your dream tight. Don't let go. Question of the day. Which cartoon character on screen was voiced by the voice actor of SpongeBob SquarePants? It's a tough one. You know, after hearing Finn's voice and shouts, it really does sound like Jeremy is a cartoon character. You might say, well, Calobi, isn't that kind of disrespectful? No, that's what you want to hear if you're taking your voice acting career seriously. You want to sound unique. How else will you stand out? After I came to a conclusion on the change of the voice of Finn, I realized that Jeremy is a human, just like the rest of us. He will also age. His voice slightly will change as he grows older. We studied this in the last video, chapter 1, where I told you to take notes on how the larynx stiffens as human beings get older. I hope that some of you guys take notes on these videos. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to click the subscribe button. You know, a lot of people downplay voice acting and they don't like when people make videos on voice actors. They think it's an easy job and anyone can do it. But I'm here to tell you today that voice actors also deserve recognition. They work very hard behind the scenes to make the characters come to life. There's a reason why they don't sound monotone. It's because they're literally acting these things out in the booth. If you think anyone could just go into a studio, fart on the mic, and get a job, you're sorely mistaken. Leave a comment down below telling me your thoughts on this video and which cartoon character should I do next. Lincoln Loud?